Alright, let's show you something new here. Our push-pull instant on bell crank. And here we have stuck it on a push-pull, and you can see got the red arrow showing. Put it in there for a raise. Showed you how to use it for a lower also. It reverses and you're going to switch the swivel on either side. So whatever. And then over here, just as a side shot, so you see how it is over here and how it is over there. Now in the past, well, there's generally two ways to put a bell crank on. You either got to take the cross shaft off and slide this stuff on, such as here, and you can see, slide them on, or as when the Legrand came out, and there's other guitars that fasten this way, just slide them onto the shaft and lock them down. This was the early Legrands. The short key heads came out very early 80s, and then the 14-hole bell crank later on. So what we're going to show you now, hopefully, is our push-pull instant on bell crank. There's so many ways to use this. It locks on a cross shaft, and of course you can see you just got two keepers. It'll slide on right now, but you would take the keepers and lock it down on the shaft, and they're very secure. It's not going to go anywhere once it's locked down. And you can use it so many different ways. Just for you want to horse around and try a different change. Do it on a temporary basis, whether it's a raise or lower, or do it on a raise or a lower on a permanent basis, whatever you wish. One of the examples is maybe you want to put a half-tone tuner in somewhere, and of course you can see the typical half-tone tuner and how that'll go right on there, the lockdown. You've got the tool holes, which will act as an idler bell crank. Most common these days is you're raising your first string as F sharp to G sharp, and then you're raising the second string a half tone D sharp to the E, and then of course another lever you're double dropping down to C sharp. Sometimes you don't have enough crossbars sticking out, and so if you didn't have, of course, here you, instead of not having enough room to put an extra bell crank on, so you'd have two bell cranks, one for the F sharp to G sharp or G, and then here's other one for, here you can use one for raising your second string and your first string. Now normally on that, on those raises we don't use springs or anything. We just go to a bell crank, then a spacer or a collar, nothing else. And here you can use your collars, of course, with set screw and top, which is the way we would normally set those up, like that, with a set screw on top. But you can put a collar on there, a set screw collar also. And that's just an idea. Maybe you want to put an E to F sharp 4th string on an up lever, and that makes it a little long on that, not so on the third pedal, but on an up lever it does. So using this as a bell crank, half the idler that is, you can, using this as an idler, you can shorten the pull, the E to F sharp, about in half, and without getting it too stiff or anything like that. So we just thought we'd show you some things. There's so many ways you can use this, raise or lowers. Just flip it around for a lower. Can't get it and show you here. Or raise again. And And I've done some half bell cranks here just to show you some other things. Not needed that way, but because the full swivel will fit in there. And if I could find another one. But just thought I'd show you that. Alright, so there's so many ways to do this, but the beauty of this thing, it'll save you time, save you time, save you time. Anyone can do this. You don't have to be a freaking genius to do this, because after all, enough said. We supply the rods, razor drop rods, raise hooks, set screw collars, shock springs, anything you may need to make some changes, with the addition of this instant-on bell crank. We would supply all of that stuff should you need it, with instructions on what to do. Set screw collars that I'm showing you here, the ones on my left now, right here, are typical size that go on the Emmons push-pull, and some of those are the Emmons push-pull. These just have a slightly larger diameter, and as you can see, they look very nice, locked very securely. And these are excess over $3 retail. And these you can buy them all day from me for 80 cents. And all nice and glittery and all the stuff that's going on. These instant-on bell cranks will be available very, very soon at a very, very reasonable price. As many of you know, the true cost of anything is determined over the length of time you have it. So that makes these bell cranks a bargain, indeed. And if there's any questions you have, or feel free to email me. And for any of those of you curious enough to know why I use Freedom sauce, this is one of the sauces I made of many sauces I used to do, and doing shows all the time, every weekend. Be crazy enough to be out there, and but I still make them, and still get calls for them. So that's the reason we do what we do. And it was just made sense to keep Freedom Sauce as the name when I got on started messing with the internet a few years ago. So we hope you've learned something. This is our latest gig and adventure in trying to do things that'll help steel guitar players make life easy for them. Thank you. We'll almost miss your pretty smile. Thank you.